focus on today with your skin?
Probably my pores.
Your pores?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Quite large.
That sounds good. So Karen, this is Emily in the
Hi.
black. She's our newest esthetician, and you think you've met Charlotte one other time before, at least?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Hello. Nice to
Hi.
see you again.
Good.
Okay.
I'll kick back and relax and the heated bed's comfortable.
Right.
Isn't it?
Oh yeah, I do have it on like medium. Is it okay?
Oh, it's great.
Okay, perfect.
I swear
So,
in a clip.
So usually, this is the point where I'm talking about what we're gonna do, and I am like aggressively washing my hands so that they see that I'm washing my hands. I'm making all the noise of like, got the sink on full blast.
Think almost passive aggressively washing your hands and you'll have the volume you want.
Yeah, I want them to remember and realize that I'm washing my hands, just because I don't want them to have any doubt to think that I didn't wash my hands. So I'm usually talking about what we're going to do in our treatment today and washing our hands at the same time. Okay. I think I have an extra one if you need
It's
it.
right here.
Okay, perfect.
And then I'll wash my hands afterwards.
Your shoulders kind of fall.
Yeah, the better.
Yeah, it's perfect. You are perfect. Okay. So got our steamer heating up and just pulling her hair back and giving her a little scalp massage. I'll push the shoulders down, just kind of force relaxation. And do our little towel wrap here. And so our like cleansing and exfoliating, like our double cleanse routine, usually takes like 15 to 20 minutes, and I think that's like kind of a long time. Definitely longer than most cleansing routines, but for me, it's like one of the biggest parts of the facial. You can just relax your neck. Just relax.
I am relaxed, I promise.
No, you're good. You're good. But that's when I really try to get them to, you know, calm down, feel comfortable. So that's what we do our cleansing routine for as long as we do. We do facial massage and lymphatic drainage, pressure points, all of that stuff in our cleanse. If you have like new clients where you're not really super familiar with their skin, I would take a second to put some eye pads on them and take a look at their skin to see what's going on. It's really well lit in here. Normally it's not this well lit. It's dark, and I usually just do like a once over of the skin with my light on so I can see anything that's going on with their skin, if they have any open areas on the face, just so I don't irritate them in any way. Sometimes I'll double check if they have like makeup on. I'll make sure that they're not like rosacea prone, just things like that. And I forgot to make some eye pads. To the side. So we'll go ahead and start our cleanse. Get some steam going. pretty much start almost every facial with a creamy cleanser. Just our clients usually have more dry skin, and even if they don't, if we're doing an acne facial, even a creamy cleanser is really gonna help just loosen up the pores, soften everything, so extractions are gonna be a lot easier. Definitely warming the product. I like to make it pretty warm.
They do make a very good cleansing oil. I tend to use that more on, acneic or oily clients. For some of our drier clients, it can be a little too effective at pulling everything out. But otherwise, creamy cleanser or oil cleanser, they're both gonna work really well. It just kind of depends on whatever's going on with them.
And we're using the Firm Skin Acai cleanser. This cleanser has a lot of hyaluronic acid in it, and it's made with the acai berry, so it's got a ton of antioxidants in it. So just a nice anti-aging, hydrating cleanser. To work like right under the collarbone, just to stimulate the lymphatic system. It's like a little bit of like a press and roll right under the collarbone. Is that feeling okay, Karen? Okay, good. And the sides of the neck for sure. This is where everybody carries tension. And then I usually do a little pinching right here under the ear at this lymphatic drainage point, and then work up with our fingers from the jawline and pinch right on the jawline. And sorry, I really work hard to push this chin muscle down. People carry tension there a lot, so I'm gonna work that. Is that steam in a good spot, Karen? You okay?
That's great.
You're not taking your breath away or anything? Okay. Pretty firmly. I'm really like trying to move these brows. Really like massaging this muscle up here. And coming around the eye. I love to do this right here. It feels so good on the temple.
It's definitely a cleansing massage. Like, underline the massage part. Yes, you're getting them clean, but you're also trying to warm everything up in the process.
Yeah, and I think that's what a lot of our facials do. You start by, the first half is very stimulating, and we continue to kind of stimulate, exfoliate, extract, and then the second half is kind of like cooling down, calming down, soothing. And that's another thing that helps pump the lymphatic, like going from hot to cold. And I really feel like that with the massage and everything else that we do is one of the reasons why they get like an instant glow. Like you will be able to tell, like, you know, you got a facial, you had the blood flow moving, you have fresh oxygen to the tissue. So it's deeper than just, you know, the skin. This is kind of one of my favorite little jaw massages to do. Thumbs across the, is this the masseter? Right here. And then my fingers are underneath like the nape of the neck. And so you're kind of doing like a neck and jaw massage at the same time. I'm just feeling anywhere where she's a little tight. And just loosening it up.
No, you're good. And I'm using pretty firm pressure. She has some strong facial muscles. So we're going pretty firm. Just relaxing. Our water's super hot. So I always start at the shoulders. It's going to be like the least alarming place to put your sponges. Go all the way up. Yeah. Big products. At Hand and Stone, did you guys use similar sponges?
You know, it was optional.
Mm-hmm.
Really, we use the sponges more like for the chemical peels instead of the cleansing on the skin.
Gotcha. So I love these for removing product. They're my favorite. And when they're nice and hot, they feel so nice. I forget that you already had a facial, so it's nice to, like, you've already experienced it.
It was amazing.
I'm so glad. So I did order new steamers that have a little bit better of an angle. I'm hoping that I'll be able to maneuver them better, because what kills me is where I have to point the steam like at their face and it goes like straight up their nose. And so I always like will dab little steam droplets that like to gather around the nose from them breathing, like the condensation. It can be like super tickly. So I'm hoping the new steamers will give me a better angle.
You know, people are claustrophobic. Sometimes that can get to them.
Totally. I've had clients like not come back for that reason. And I only know because they'd be like lash clients or brow clients, but they won't do facials anymore because it like takes their breath away. And they're like, so I'm constantly asking. So for our exfoliant today, so after our cleanse, we do an exfoliating cleansing step. For her, I think we could use the turmeric, the energizing turmeric treatment. So there are other options. There's like the strawberry rhubarb dermafoliate, charcoal gel cleanser, which is an exfoliating one. So you can customize it however, depending on their skin, but this is like our exfoliating step.
I'll be making more videos kind of outlining what we use, when, and why.
Yeah, because Eminence has such a like
Eminence
broad
has a ton of them,
product
and
line.
we'll be getting you the login too, so you can look at the professional materials too. But like just different things that we've noticed that maybe Eminence doesn't directly say, or like you might only hear in trainings, or that we've just figured out.
So with the powder exfoliants, I'm mixing it with a foaming cleanser today for some extra slip. You can just mix it with water. But if you mix one of the powder exfoliants with like a gel cleanser or a creamy cleanser, it doesn't have as much of an exfoliating property anymore. So if you really want a good exfoliation, just water, yeah, exactly. Or this foaming cleanser, I really like the way it feels when it's all nice and warm. Karen, is that steam still feeling okay?
It's fun.
Are you sure?
If you want them to have like exfoliating but not too exfoliating, you can do like the strawberry rhubarb dermafoliant with one of the gel cleansers with a little bit of just a couple drops of water and whip it up, and it makes a nice kind of frothy foam. And a lot of the rice powder in it will disintegrate to make that foam, but a lot of the chickpea flour in it won't. So you do get a little bit in there. It's still a fine powder, so it's not going to be too much. And the stone crop Physiofoliant, you can do that with as well. It works really nicely. It's going to have a little bit more exfoliant left behind than the strawberry rhubarb, but not as much as, say, the turmeric. Just, you know, all different ways you can use these things.
Yeah, I do like, I never do this, but I do like it when people do it, when you whip it up with your brush and paint it on. Like, it feels so nice. I think I use my hands for almost everything.
I like to use the two fan brushes.
Totally. Oh my god.
That's my little-
Oh, yeah.
That would be amazing. I would say that would feel so nice to do that. Like nice warm fan brushes with the product whipped up. But I would go back in with my hands probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, for application, I would
so
do that.
good.
Yeah.
It was so funny because, like, Stone, the supervisor, was like, why are we going through fan brushes? It's like there was like a miscount because I just like got one and I thought it was okay, like in the supplies area.
Yeah.
They were like, well, there's a fan brush missing. And I'm like, well, I have an extra one. Well, for what?
I wish I was that organized with my fan brush
Like,
for inventory.
She literally knew that there was one. I didn't
Oh
think
my
about it. I
gosh.
just grabbed it.
Well, yeah, sure.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean that's what it's for.
yeah. For inventory, like at the end of the day,
Oh,
like they had to count all of the products before we got our tips.
They did that at Ulta too.
That's crazy.
So they kept up with it. I thought
It was
nuts.
a lot.
And then they checked your pockets.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they check your pockets. And did you have to have a clear purse too?
No. So what I did was I wore some tights without pockets because I wasn't gonna entertain that business.
Yeah.
They didn't like that, but
Yeah.
it was like at the end of being there. But I was just like, "Are you serious?"
I got
Is that still
the
feeling okay, Karen?
yoga scrub pants that had no
Budget.
pocket. And then we had to wear the special Dermalogica at Ulta wrap top, which that thing was heinous. But and then we had to have a clear purse. And anything that you bought had to get marked. So if you bought anything online, you had to bring in your receipt, bring in your entire order, go to management, and have them mark it all off.
Yeah. I mean, it
was
wasn't
nuts.
like that in Texas. In Florida, it was.
Yeah. Where in Florida were you?
Palm Coast.
Okay. I used to live between Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
I was between St. Augustine and Daytona.
Okay, yep.
So I adjust the steam a lot just because I don't want it to get too hot in any particular place. A lot of our clients are rosacea prone. So I'll try to move it back, and then we do totally sterilize the steamer after every client because I'm always turning it with my hand and all of that. So we, hit it with a cavi wipe, get all the product off between clients. And we've done a really good scrub on her. We've really worked that turmeric all over. This is usually where I lose my gloves, just because they have a lot of product on them. And I'm gonna grab my Clarisonic brushes, dip them in the water so they're nice and warm. And then we'll do a once over with our Clarisonics. If your water has gotten like lukewarm or whatever, you can always warm them up under the steamer. I definitely like them to be nice and hot. If they're cold, it's miserable. It's not nearly as nice,
Yeah. Especially in winter time.
right? It's shocking.
I'm so used to having a sink right by me, so that's going to be an adjustment.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I wish we have sinks, but they're just over there. I would love to have that.
There's so much more room in this room. It's nice.
Yeah.
Also claustrophobic.
Right. The bed did used to face the opposite way, but I really couldn't use that like I thought I'd be able to, but I am open to like moving it back. If you feel like having access to the sink would be better. I'm open to like moving things around for sure. I feel like it's time for a change.
Readjust the feng shui of the room.
Yeah, we really do. Especially since that TV broke and it's not working anymore. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I want to take that down and move some things around. So we'll see.
Yeah, for sure.
So maybe you can put the bed. No, I don't know if there'll be enough room to walk through, but I was gonna say, put the head of the bed where the TV is on that wall. Move that over a little bit, but really, I don't know.
I've imagined it and probably moved it. I mean, I've been in this room for 6 years. And so I've probably moved it every single way you could possibly imagine.
Was this your first place of employment as a skin therapist?
Mhm.
Yeah.
It was. I think it worked out so perfectly.
Well, that's how Hand and Stone.
Yeah.
They treated me very well in Texas. I'll say that.
Yeah.
And my goal was to work in a medical spa, not a facial spa like that.
Mhm.
But they treated me so good. It's like, how could I leave them?
Yeah.
So I was pretty loyal to them. And then I moved to Florida, and I'm like, I want to do something different. Totally different ballgame.
Yeah.
maybe the same name, but not the same company.
Yeah, it's not the same vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was thankful I had that place of employment for the time being.
So we're just removing our turmeric. This is a little more difficult to remove. It's a lot of granules. So if you do need to like rinse your sponges and come back, do that. So that usually I toss my sponges after that. I don't need them anymore. And we do our warm towel after our exfoliant. I always give their neck a little bit of room. I never like push down like that because it can feel a little strangulating. Yours was so good when you did my my cleanse. Your like towel technique and the pressure you put on all of my like pressure points. It was so nice.
I believe everybody has their own unique way of doing things, which separates everyone, but still, you know, it's all the same, like cleansing and stuff, but just your
Everyone
own
has
unique way.
slightly different methods.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's the word I was looking for.
Like I went to an Aveda school, and so a lot of the massage techniques I use are pulled from them,
That's awesome.
which is great. But it makes it a different massage than hers, but it's still good.
Yeah, because everybody likes different
Everyone
things.
likes different things. Exactly.
Okay, everything is removed. She is looking good. We'll go ahead and give her some cool eye pads. We just keep our moistened eye pads to the side and they get nice and cold. Nice and cold.
Well, it's like with the facial massage, I go with the skin on the client, on how their facial muscles are and everything. I don't believe I have a certain routine. It's not a cookie cutter routine.
Same.
With my facial massage, I just let my hands go with it, like you were telling the other Emily.
Emily, yeah.
You know, like, people ask me, can you teach me your facial massage routine? I'm like, I really could not, really. Like, I can show you, like, different things I
Variations
use,
of
Yeah.
it,
but
yeah.
it will never be
The
The
same
exact
the
place.
exact one. No, every massage is different.
Yeah, I have a base
Uh-huh.
that keeps me from like drifting into massage land and spending the entire facial on a massage. But there are definitely like multiple variations
Right.
within there. But basically, I start it and end it the same way and kind of spend the same amount of time. No matter which variation I'm using on each section, unless a specific section is like, whoa, we need more work, or this
Yeah.
place is fine. But that just keeps me from drifting into massage la la land.
Okay. So, pre-gloved, and I'm just spritzing this with a little bit of alcohol just because it's been sitting through the weekend. But I'm going to take a quick look at her skin. Karen, is the bed still feeling pretty comfortable and not too hot or cold? Do you need me to adjust the temperature or anything? You alright?
Those are super cool.
Okay, good.
Oh, they make it so much easier.
I love
Oh my
that.
gosh.
Just a little look. And usually I will take a tissue and just make sure they don't have any steam up their nose, and I'll just kind of dab any little steam droplets that might be tickling their nose, because that can be uncomfortable.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so I'm gonna take a quick look. It's time to say something nice about your clients. So I usually compliment them, like whatever I see that's good, that's what I lead off with. I'm like, oh, your elasticity is really good. You're really even in color. You still have some really good bounce to the skin. You do have a little extra oil, so we're gonna do some extractions today and work on that.
But oil's good because you don't dry and
Right.
age as fast.
Exactly.
Yes.
Positive side note there.
Yes.
Exactly. Much rather be more oily than too dry. So this whole step of the facial, we're preparing for the dermaplane. So now I've got her blindfolded. I've got her eyes covered.
Protected.
Lord. So anyway, and you can make a lot of variations here depending on your client's skin. We're gonna use the Peel Prep solution. This is like a mild glycolic and salicylic lactic blend. It has alcohol in it, so it can be kind of breathtaking to go all over the face. So I will get a fan also. Put a little fan on her and just let her know that we're gonna do mild acid. This is going to help exfoliate, help us with our dermaplane. And give you a little fan. You can breathe.
I actually like that smell.
Some people do. It's like,
It's the people who love gasoline and
60-40.
Sharpie smell, they love this smell.
right.
That would be me.
Yep. And then some people like me, I would be like dying. I can't breathe. You're killing me. Going all the way around. And this is just one option. I have used a lot of different types of mild acids to do a dermaplane prep. And in fact, with her, I probably am gonna add a little bit of a pumpkin and yam enzyme on top in just a few areas before we dermaplane. This is, the more you learn about the peels we have and your own particular clients, you'll know what to blend and make a cocktail. I'm kind of heavy-handed, but you'll be able to find what works for you and your clients. So they have a pumpkin and yam enzyme, which is great for helping with discoloration. So I'm going to use a little bit of that. Charlotte, what do you know about the pumpkin and yam? You're so good with your product.
So pumpkin and yam is, I believe it's lactic and glycolic in there. So it is great for brightening. Lovely for our folks who do need a bit of extra exfoliation, but you don't want to risk drying them out. It can be a bit tingly, be a bit warming. It doesn't on everyone though, so go ahead and be on the safe side and be like, just to let you know, you might feel a warming or tingling sensation, but it does have a lot of hydrating and emollient components in it as well. So that being said, like, you can definitely still use it before a dermaplane. It's not going to overhydrate that skin. The emollient components tend to go deeper, and the more exfoliating or drying components tend to stay closer to the top of the skin. With that one, they formulated it really nicely. And I believe, is that one the 15 or 20%?
Yeah, the higher.
The higher one?
Higher
Yeah.
one.
So it's the 20%. For some people, if they start getting a little red when they remove it, there is a soothing chamomile tonic that you can use. You can remove it just with water. It is made to dilute with either water or the tonic. Mm-hmm. Don't spray the tonic directly on their face. They will have a bad time. Does not feel good. Put it on some dampened 4x4s and just swipe it on, and it feels lovely. It smells kind of like licorice, so be forewarned, but it feels great.
So I just spot treated with that anywhere where I felt like she needed some extra brightening or extra exfoliation. So really just did it in her T-zone and kind of work that in. Karen, how's that feeling on your skin?
That's good.
A little tingly anywhere, itchy, are you okay?
A little bit tingly, not much.
Okay. So while this is sitting and working on her skin, I'm gonna do a little tweezing, like in preparation for our dermaplane. So I'll just do some tweezing.
Isn't that what you hit on me? That
It's very possible. I can't
It was a
remember.
little too lean-in.
Yeah. I do change it up depending, but I really do like the pumpkin and yam.
And it works really nicely with the peel prep. The peel prep is basically a baby Jessner's blend that is made to prep for peels and for dermaplanes. Like she said, it's got a high alcohol content, but it's also got green tea extract, lemon peel, and I think Swiss green apple stem cells. So it does multiple things at once.
You okay?
But the key is apply it pretty liberally and leave it on for a bit while you do stuff like tweezing, getting your blade ready and all. And that's where it can really work its magic.
And so these are our little facial packs. In them, you'll find a little baby microderm and tweezers, an extractor tool, and a dermaplane blade. It's pretty much what we use in almost every facial. So all of our facial packs will have that in there, even if you don't do all of that in one facial. So I have put the peel prep, the pumpkin and yam, and then I tweeze, and now I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a facial oil just to give me some slip and neutralize some of the milder acids that we put on our skin. So I'll just press in a little bit of a nourishing facial oil before we get started.
We have a few different oils you can use.
Yeah.
All of them are pretty lightweight, so it's not going to rehydrate the cells too much. It's just going to stick them all together so that when you take it off, it comes off better, and it helps reduce friction so that you don't have like that raw feeling sometimes you get after a dermaplane. The cleansing oil works great. Eminence makes a nourishing facial oil in a teeny tiny bottle that is super lovely. And then we also have basically an olive oil blend from a brand called Uli's Ointment. It's a dry oil, and you need like the tiniest little baby quarter pump, and it'll coat the whole face.
Okay.
Did you guys do a lot of dermaplanes?
We did not do any dermaplanes, but I know how to do it. It's just when I worked at like a little mom and pop shop while I was working at Hand Stone, I had tried a little shop that they use Eminence, but they didn't work there very long, and we did some dermaplane there.
We're obsessed with dermaplane. I think we probably do in almost every facial. This is our most popular facial with the dermaplane.
So that's an add-on, or is that with your basic facial?
That's our level 2 facial.
Okay.
So yeah, it'd be an add-on.
But it is definitely the most requested one, for sure.
Yeah, I had a client ask me if we did dermaplane at this little mom and pop shop, and I shouldn't say it like that, but like a little locally owned spa.
Yeah.
It was called Spa 360, and they had like different stuff, and it had like a little cafe, and it had a little daycare
Oh,
for
wow.
mothers to bring their child in
Oh
while
my
they got
gosh.
a facial or massage or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
It's like a women's wellness center, and a lady had asked me if I did dermaplane, and I said, well, I haven't, so I just YouTubed it,
Yeah.
taught myself how to do it, and then we practiced a little bit, and then I just added it to the services, and the owner was like, all right, let's go with it, so just did it.
Yeah.
So I'll do it to myself also. Haven't done it in a while, but
Yeah, I needed to do
and
it.
my daughter, she's all about skincare. The other day, so the product that I bought from here, the bamboo, the firming,
Yeah.
I didn't know where it was.
She took it?
Yeah.
Oh my
I could
god.
not find it anywhere. And so she gets all out of school, and I'm like, hey, that was mine. She said, oh, well, I was using it. I said, well, where is it? Oh, it was in my hiding spot. I said, yeah, because you knew.
Mm-hmm.
And my husband's like, you're mini me, you can't get upset with her. I'm like, I understand, but there's boundaries, and she's got more skincare than me. She needs to leave mine alone.
Besides, what does she need with firming?
Yes, she's 11.
Gosh, she does have acne, and so she's very OCD, and she likes to do everything I do.
Yeah, I get that.
So I have to watch everything I do because kids will watch you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just set an example for her.
Relax.
She is a good kid.
She's doing all of her skincare early.
Gosh, like I tell her, you need to leave her face alone because sometimes she just like she ever does it.
Strokes it.
Yes. And I told her, I said, you're going to have acne because you were stripping it. You're doing too much.
If she needs to hear it from someone who had to go on Accutane because of their acne, bring her to me.
Gotcha. She says she wants to go into the Coast Guard, but I think she wants to be a skin therapist, really.
Aw, right.
She's always.
Those are two wildly different things.
Yes.
Yeah, Coast Guard.
I think it's because her dad likes the ocean. So she says that to appease him. But I think honestly, she likes skincare. We'll see.
Hey, listen, I did the same thing. I went to Vanderbilt for a creative writing and religious studies double major with a minor in Russian. That did not work out. Look where I am now. I'm an esthetician.
So yeah, if you will definitely give you a ton of practice, so you can like brush up on your dermaplaning skills. Just because it's something we do all the time. So when you're able to start doing some hands-on, we'll filter through some of like our employees over on the derm side. They can do like a quick little mini facial or just a dermaplane. Back in the groove of dermaplaning. When I first started dermaplaning, I would like talk my clients out of it. I was so afraid to do it. I was so scared, and it would take me so long. So it's for me, it was hard to get comfortable doing it.
I think my only weakness on being skin food service is eyebrows.
Really?
Like the waxing.
Yeah.
Eyebrows are tricky. They're my least favorite thing to wax.
Yeah, because like once you remove that hair, you mess up. That's it.
Yeah.
There's no going back.
You know, so that is my biggest fear.
Yeah.
I'm like, say, hey, why don't you just come thread it? But go get them threaded.
Or yeah, I'll be like, can we tweeze? Because,
Yeah.
if I go one hair at a time, like, less likely I'm gonna mess them up.
Well, like, I don't mind doing a little bit of cleanup, but like when they want me to do all these crazy shapes, I'm like, no. And then they want their eyebrows to be exact. I'm like, look, they're not.
They're not twins.
Thank
They're
you.
cousins.
Exactly.
Cousins.
They're cousins.
Bone structure, everything is
Well,
not
Maybe sisters.
symmetrical.
So we were taught don't say sisters because people will think, oh, sisters, so they're gonna look the same.
I know.
So we were taught say they're cousins.
Okay.
They're in the same family tree.
That makes sense.
They belong on the same face. They are the same family tree.
Yeah.
But they are on two different sides of your face with two different bone structures. Ergo.
Exactly. Yeah.
Side note, that is why I'm really excited to learn more about henna brows.
Yes.
Because we can put brow where there isn't any brow and then just create a better shape,
Yeah.
So I always stand up in dermaplane. If you can sit down in dermaplane, like that's amazing, but I can't. Oh, you're fine.
I sit down in dermaplane. I'll stand up for a couple sections, but mostly I do it sitting down.
I cannot.
When I do my facial, sometimes I stand up as well as sit down, but like I feel like sometimes standing up on the shoulder massage, you have to put more of your core into the shoulder massage, so it's less pressure on your back and everything.
Yeah.
Your shoulders. So I do a lot of standing up when it comes to massage.
Yeah.
Just stand where you feel like it's better for you to stand, sit where you feel like it's better for you to sit. I have a connective tissue disorder, so I sit more than most therapists would, but I've adjusted how I do my movements to compensate for that.
Yeah, you gotta use good body mechanics that will really mess your body up. Every time. Yeah.
Wow.
Right, I'm currently there.
So typically, how long do you spend on doing the dermaplane?
It really depends. I try not to spend any more than 15 minutes. Like, if it's longer than that, I'm like, oh my God. But some people, some clients just have so much going on with their dermaplane that it does take me longer. Karen's was pretty easy today. I think, what was this, like 10 minutes maybe? I'm not real sure.
Right at about 10, yeah.
Yeah.
Just to keep up with time and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I have some dermaplanes that are as quick as 5 minutes, and like they have basically no hair, not a ton to take off, but what comes off is very easy to take off. And then I've had some people where the dermaplane section is 45 minutes.
Right.
Because there's just so much.
So much. And you're changing blades because they're like your
Oh my
blades
gosh.
are dulling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So hers is looking great. So at this point, just depending on her skin, I will either go ahead and start doing extractions, or I'll do my little mini microderm first. I think with her, we'll just jump right into the extractions. I always start with the nose because I feel like the nose tells me a lot more about the condition of their skin. Is it hydrated? Are the extractions going to be easy? Are they going to be difficult? So we'll do a little extraction on the nose just to see. I just apply a little bit of pressure just to see what's going on.
So you don't use a metal extractor?
I do, but just for this part, I like to do a little squeeze on either side of the nose so I can see if she's dehydrated. If I'm squeezing and nothing's happening, like I'm not getting anything to express, I know that their skin's pretty dehydrated. And then for her, I will go in with a little extractor tool for some of them.
No, my skin's dry.
Okay. Okay. And so we get pretty detailed with our extractions because we have so many referrals from the derm side, people with acne. So her extractions, because her skin is pretty hydrated, so I'm pretty sure that they're gonna be easy. And when they're like this, I just give them a light little squeeze with my fingers. And then if they're more tough, we will go in with one of our Lancets. Do you use these on like a regular basis?
So I was told in his own that they were outlawed.
Right.
That goes under the skin, so we did not use those.
So we can use Lancets. They're so much better. Relax. It's so much better for if you have a blackhead that's been there for a really long time and you can just see the blackhead, but then underneath it's like the tip of the iceberg. So these are really great for going in on the side of the blackhead and then just breaking the skin right on the edge. And the only thing that I can give a visual representation is if you were like doing like an episiotomy, but on the pore. So you're making a little tiny slit right on the edge of the pore, so the blackhead can squeeze out.
Oh, that's awesome.
A lot easier. And same thing with pimples. If you have a whitehead or something like that, taking your little tiny lancet and making a tiny little pinprick or a slice or an incision on the side, you can control how the skin is going to break instead of just extracting it. The skin's going to break regardless when you're doing an extraction. So you can control it. It's going to heal a lot faster. Won't get infected. You won't have to put as much pressure on the skin. It's just like the way to go.
So I was told that you can use it if you work under a dermatologist in their
Can you get
office,
close
but-
on some of these extractions?
Oh yeah, I am.
Okay, cool.
But if you're not in a dermatologist setting, then it's not allowed. So would that be the reason why you're able
Yeah.
to, or is it just
That's
the state of
exactly
Georgia?
why.
It's state by state though, also.
In Texas, you could not in like a facial spa place unless you were under a dermatologist.
So I was just brushing up on some like info from ASPA recently. And so, you know, they're like nationwide for aesthetics. And they were totally promoting the use of Lancets, and this is just like nationwide. And so I was like, okay, well that's good because yeah, back when I was in school, Lancets were like a no-no.
Yeah.
But now you can definitely use them.
Good.
Yeah, it's one of those things where some states are a little stringent on it until you're like, no, actually nationwide we're allowed to do this, and then they back up on it.
Okay. Well,
I've never had to say anything to anybody about it just because.
Yeah.
I'm always worried in the back of my mind, like, what if there is someone from Texas, or I keep on wanting to say Texas, but
Right.
the Department of, you know, cosmetology license and stuff. What if they're like, you know, acting like a client and they're really someone watching you, and then you lose your license, and it's like,
Yeah.
I worked too hard to lose my license, so I've just been really by the book when it comes to the rules and regulations.
Of course, as you should be, and you should only do what's comfortable for you.
Man, I've seen them in other places and used them. I look away because it's none of my business.
Yeah. You look
I
away.
want to know.
Listen, I get it. I was taught how to use them in school because I was taught in Tennessee. And in Tennessee, you can use them, except for a couple different instances. But
It's different though.
each state is different. And so when I moved to Georgia, they were like, it really just depends on who you're working under as to whether you can get permission for it. And now they've changed it to be like, well, yeah, it's fine.
You doing okay, Karen? Okay. Well, and also you have to think about it. When you're using your Lancet, you're not going into the dermis. You're staying in the epidermis. You're literally
Yeah.
just making the tiniest little, you know,
Yeah.
pinprick just to release.
I think that would be easier than using your extractor to remove it.
It's-
not true.
So
It
much
can
better.
be.
And less painful.
Like, state of Georgia is basically, as long as you're staying in the epidermis, they don't really, their big thing is stay out of the dermis.
Right.
Are you still doing okay? Okay. Just getting as many extractions as I can.
If you test it and like they desperately need extractions done and you know they're just not going to come up easily, one of the things you can do is mix some of the stone crop fusiform with some water, make it a froth, and sit them under the steam with it for about 5-10 minutes.
Purge it out.
It is basically their version of a disincrustation fluid.
Okay.
I've done that with a few of my like aggressive dehydrated teenage clients, and it works like a charm.
Good to know. Carrie, were you a sunbather?
Never I work in the sun.
Never were. You were. You like the sun?
I worked in the
Yeah, I
research
can see that.
in construction, otherwise outside, but it was mainly just my face and my neck and my arms. You know,
Uh-huh.
so.
I can see that.
Yeah, I don't have patience to lay in the sun.
I can just see that you were outdoors a lot.
Yes, I was growing up too.
Uh-huh.
And you still are.
Yeah.
I'm an outdoorsy kind of person too, so I'm also the crazy lady that's going around with the sunscreen every 45 minutes to an hour and a half when we're at the beach or out on the lake or something, because, you know, that sun is very unforgiving when you're out there, and so you gotta protect your skin.
Listen, I rely on those sunscreen apps because I lose track of time when I'm in the sun. Just total time blindness. But those sunscreen apps make a big difference because they'll track like where you are, and they'll be like, hey, the heat index and UV index are this.
Oh,
Reapply
wow.
now. Like, okay, thank you.
I usually do like a little, if I know I'm doing a tough extraction, I usually do like a little tapping technique. So I'll like do my extraction, then I'll like tap somewhere else on the face, and it kind of distracts the mind from the pain. So that's a good little tip. You see me tapping her, that's why.
Yeah, sometimes I'll do the good old wax technique of get it out and then pressure. That works too.
My teacher was so funny. She had her own crazy techniques, and she'd say, after you pull the hair, then you slap it. You slap the bite. I'm like, oh, so you want me to like make her
Lord.
scream and then bruise her with hitting her?
Right.
She's
And
like,
then
it kills the nerve.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I was taught waxing by a former state trainer for European Wax Center for California, and she's like, if I see any of you slapping,
I never
kicked
did
out.
that.
Yeah,
But
no.
like, she would say, pull it and slap it. I'm like, no.
No.
We're not doing that.
no, pull pressure.
Yeah, I think, I don't know. She was a sweetheart. She
Oh
was,
yeah.
but-
No, she sounds hilarious.
Yeah, some
she
things you'll
was.
never forget, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Miss Trina is her name.
Looking great. So, we are gonna do, so we usually do like a mini microderm in every single facial. I do not like to use the big microderm tips. I only like the ones that are like made for the nose. Because of the size of it, it cannot, you can turn the suction up really high and you can't get that like suction hickey, that skin damage. You can't, there's a less chance of, just relax your jaw. There's less chance of causing any vascular damage, and you get more suction with this guy. So.
Alright.
And I could have done this before extractions. I think it's just a preference sometimes. Usually I'll tell my client, like, we're just gonna do a little microdermabrasion just to clean out some of those smaller pores. Is that feeling okay?
So do you ever do the whole face?
With the microderm?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but I still use the baby tip.
Okay. And so that would be an add-on, or it would be part of the,
So for me, it's not an add-on. Even if I were to do the whole face, because I just do it pretty quickly, but it could be an add-on. We have it as an add-on, and I would just say like, oh, I feel like you could really benefit from a microderm, or I would say, normally we do a little spot microderm to clean out some of the smaller pores, but I feel like you could benefit from a full face microderm if you'd like to do that.
so that would be an extra charge, or no?
it's your discretion. If you feel like you took a long time to do it and it really like held you up, or you know, you did it in a certain way, but no, not typically. I don't charge for it,
Okay.
but you could if you wanted to.
So you know, it was an add-on at work, but I'll be honest, like a little bit of cleanup and it takes like a minute. I don't feel that it would be right to do that. I feel like it would be better for the client and myself to go ahead and just do it for a couple minutes, a little cleanup. But if it was a full face, then yes, because it's just, they might see another client. I mean, they might see another skin therapist, and then they say, "Oh, well, I didn't get charged," and then I get in trouble, or they get upset with the other therapist. So I had to go by the book with
Right.
the charge.
Yeah.
But like my clients that I would see for like 6 months, loyal clients, and I knew them. They knew to be quiet. They're not gonna go to this other therapist.
Yeah.
They're gonna come back to me, and I'm gonna do their little cleanup, and they keep their mouth shut.
Well, it is, so if you go to the website and you read through our facial descriptions, it's listed in there.
Okay.
And then if you are going to do more than you think should be included, you can, I mean, if it doesn't take you that much time, I would almost rather you just tell them, like, oh, you know, I feel like you could benefit from like a full face microderm, and I would just say, like, typically that's an add-on, but we're gonna do it complimentary today or something like that, just so that they know. I usually do the most in all of my facials. And because we have a high price point, I usually don't charge for a lot of upgrades, and that does turn around to like bite me sometimes. If they go to another esthetician, they're like, "Oh, well, Heather did all this," and I'm like, "Oh, you don't understand that, you know, I was being extra and I did too much." And so yeah, that's been some things I'm trying to be better about.
Typically, I go with, if it's spot, that's fine. If it's one layer all over the face, I'll tell them, you know, we're doing a baby microderm. If we were to do more microderm than this, it would, you know, it would be the add-on
That would
charge.
be it.
But I feel like we need a little more than just some spots, so we're gonna do this complimentary today. If I do the full crosshatch, 3 passes in every direction, blah, 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 that's the add-on for me.
That's the way I would see it.
I think I like that.
Yeah.
It just, you know, it.
If you're doing crosshatch,
If we're doing
passes in every
crosshatches, if we're
direction.
doing passes in every direction,
Very
if we're
true.
going every single inch of their face, that's an add-on.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
But like, especially for the level 1, sometimes the exfoliant, a lot of times I will just do a 1-pass microderm, and that's my exfoliant for that facial, just depending on the client and what it is they need. And it works out great. And then, you know, after extractions, I can go back and touch up whatever needs touching up. And there's, you know, still room to do that. But if they want the full-blown suck your pores out microderm experience,
Yeah.
that is the add-on.
Okay.
But if you're ever wondering and you are on the fence, I would always like default to whatever it takes for the client to feel like they got something extra, or like, you know, they're leaving with getting more than they paid for, like in a good way, like not in a way where, you know, we're just giving them free stuff, but like that they feel like, oh my gosh, that was worth every penny and then some. I would say that. So anyway, so we've done our extractions. Her skin's looking amazing. Microderm. This is usually the point where I'll take off her eye pads, and my favorite place to dermaplane is around the eyes.
Yes.
So dermaplane around the eyes. It's usually this little step.
So satisfying. dermaplaning the eyes because it can be a little intimidating. I learned how to dermaplane under the eyes, but not necessarily the eyelid. And then when I came here, I learned how to dermaplane the eyelid, and so it makes such a big difference with eye makeup, with eye creams and eye serums. They work much better.
Yeah,
It's really good.
the lids can get a little like furry over time, and then yeah, if you're putting on eye makeup over that, it just doesn't look as good as it used to. And so getting rid of that little peach fuzz, it helps the makeup and stuff from settling in those fine lines. And I did miss a few extractions, so I'm just gonna do a couple over here real quick. So her extractions were super easy. I was hoping that we would have a couple difficult ones so I could kind of show you just a few tricks that we would use. But next time.
Did you use high frequency at Hand and Stone?
Oh, thank you, Karen. Yeah, I heard you. Thank you. I'll do that.
Okay.
Thank you for reminding me.
So we don't use it for like everything by any means. But if there are some places that are big and mean, gnarly and nasty that you had to get out, or you feel like this is just gonna have a hard time healing, do not be afraid to bust it out.
Or no, massage heights to the high frequency.
Oh,
So I did not.
okay. And we do have multiple different tips for it. We've got the comb tip and the mushroom tip and the
Oh, I
little sparker.
love
The comb is so nice.
Where is it? I can't find it.
Yeah, I wished Hand and Stone did the high frequency,
But they're not in the rest of it.
What skincare line do they use there? Dermalogica?
Dermalogica and Clarity
Oh, here it is.
RX.
Okay, so think of the dermafoliant and the physifolient as Eminence's version of the daily microfoliant and daily
The
dermafoliant.
rice.
Yeah, the rice powders.
Yeah.
They work exactly the same way, just with different, like, they foam up in the same way, but they've definitely got some different, really interesting ingredients.
I feel like Eminence has more
That's not a.
than
Yeah.
the Dermalogica has daily.
I was gonna say, I like these powders more than the Dermalogica, and I used to swear by that daily charcoal one, up, down, left, and right. But I like the Eminence ones more.
I feel like Dermalogica is a safe product line for people that don't know a whole lot about skincare.
It's a good beginner line.
Right.
It's a good beginner line. But especially once they got bought out by Unilever. Yeah, they took away so many really good products that it was just like,
I like the age reversal. That's one of my faves.
that's a good one.
So she has like an old breakout that kind of is on her neck usually. So I'm just trying to extract that right now. It was not nearly as satisfying as I hoped it'd be, Karen.
No.
It was gonna be like epic, but it was just okay.
It's just acceptable.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had that feng shui stuff.
Yeah, and it's just one of those ones that keeps coming back, you know?
Yes.
So, oh no.
What do you need?
Oh, time is it? Emily's with a client. I need Theraderm.
Oh, are you out of it?
Yes, I meant to grab some from Emily's room.
Do you want me to see if I can sneak in and grab you some?
No, it's
Okay.
she's with a client.
Oh, okay.
So this is one of her favorite parts, where we would typically do an enzyme exfoliant. We did that on you. It's the Theraderm, and so it sticks to any remaining dead skin cells. And I ran out on Friday last week, and so I was gonna get some from Emily's room, but I forgot when we were preparing for our facial today. So we're not gonna do any Theraderm, but what shall we do instead?
I I like using, if I'm out of Theraderm, I like using the yam and pumpkin or one of the just enzyme ones, or the Arctic berry enzyme. That's a really good one for that.
So I am feeling like I'm gonna go like rose hip and maize exfoliating mask. Normally I would have kept my gloves on and just got the Theraderm and massaged it in, but since I had to like maneuver the products and I have to grab products, normally I would just have it out or in a pump bottle. I'm gonna put fresh gloves on because we did all those extractions and I don't really want to touch anything that I don't want to touch anything with dirty gloves. So yeah, Karen, I'll send you home with some Theraderm. You can do it at home. But honestly, the Theraderm for me, it is the one product that I have used religiously since like day one of estheticianing. It's one of I used to call like my secret ingredient to the facial because it sticks to the dead skin cells and it helps peel those up and roll them away. So this is going to be in place of that. It will still do a good job. This is an exfoliating mask that we're just going to massage in and remove. Is that feeling okay, Karen? Good.
You gave me a sample.
I love that stuff.
It smells good.
Yeah.
I had to get a purse, which I need to go get another one. It's a makeup bag that has a little lock on it. For my daughter didn't get into my
Oh,
stuff.
that's funny.
It's like a little combination lock, but it got dirty, so I just threw it away. And I just had
She'll crack your code.
I
She knows you too well.
I had one of those years ago, and I kept all my makeup in it. It was like one of those train cases, but it had a combo lock on it. It was great because I had two friends who, you know, we would spend the night at one of our houses on Friday nights after the football game, and they would inevitably go in at some point because neither of them really wore makeup, but they would inevitably go in and be like, let's try Charlotte's eyeshadow, let's try Charlotte's lipstick. I'm like,
Yeah, I'm glad my daughter finally like grew a little bit more on her shoes, so she leaves mine alone now. That's pretty bad.
yeah, my daughter, she's 5, but she already thinks anything that's mine is hers and what's hers is hers.
That's what happens.
So I get her, you know, her own cleanser, her own moisturizer, and she's like, but Mama's. I'm like, well, fine, I get to use yours. And she's like, no, that's mine.
I have boys.
Right? And I do think something about being a mom, but like you just get your shit stolen by your children. Period. They
Yes.
just think that whatever you have is also theirs.
Yes.
And I can speak from I will still steal from my mom like at any moment.
Yeah.
Paper.
Yeah. Because I'm like, she won't care. She wants me to have this actually.
She's actually right. Her mom would give it to her.
Anybody, you know, any mother would, it was fine. But yeah, it doesn't stop after this. I'm almost 40. I will steal my mom's stuff.
Me and my mom did it back and forth between the two of us.
Yeah.
We steal from each other.
Right.
She'd wait till I went to work. She'd go to my room and help herself.
It's definitely not as bad as it was when I was in high school. Poor mom. Like, yeah, she couldn't have any skincare or anything. And I'd be like, oh, you got a really good makeup brush. Thank you for that. Thank you for my new makeup brush that you got us.
See, ours was different. My mom would be, I wouldn't ask for anything, but my mom would be like, yeah, you can borrow this. And I just wouldn't give it back. Because she
Right.
would say, you can have this, sure, yeah.
Yes.
And I take that as, oh yeah, this is mine now.
Yeah.
And she's like, I meant borrow. I'm like, you didn't say borrow. If you had said borrow, I would have put it back.
It's an definite borrow. So we'll pretend this was the Theraderm. And yeah, hot towel afterwards. It can be kind of sensitizing, so I usually try to cool down the towel a good bit so it's not so hot. How was it for you when we did it on you?
It was nice. I mean,
Was it
but I
bad?
like it hot.
Okay. Yeah.
I try to warn the client it can be a little bit tingly. You might feel a little tingling sensation since you have all new skin. This is just grabbing anything that's remaining. And then they tend to be fine with it. It's one of those, if they're forewarned, then they're like, oh, okay, this isn't
Yes.
bad. But if you don't warn them, they're like, oh, what is this?
Is this supposed to be burning me? Yeah. And that is another thing. I always do. Now I've had the same clients for like a million years. I don't do it as much, but I still do it. I describe everything that I'm putting on them, why I'm putting it on them, how it's going to help their individual concern, like the key ingredients, why it's such a cool product, you know, and that just helps them understand, you know, what they're paying for. You know, not only are they paying for the products, which are like amazing, but they're paying for your knowledge of the product to give them a customized treatment. So they like to hear like, well, the reason I'm using this is because, you know, like, what do I always say? I end up saying the same thing over and over again all the time. I'm sure my clients are like, shut up. But, it's just when you're done with your facial and you go to pay and it's like $200, and I want them to be like, oh my gosh, I got a deal because of all of that stuff that you did on me, you know? And so talking about it really makes a difference. This product is a pain to get off, but
Well, I'll still ask my clients, even if I had seen them for 6 months to a year, like, do you have any health issues? I mean, but something new could come up. So,
Right.
Like, have you had any spots that come up? I mean,
Totally.
You don't know.
Yeah. If it's someone I keep in touch with pretty regularly, I'm like, anything new since I last
Yeah.
spoke with or talked to you? Last time you were in, we were dealing with this, this, and this. Is that pretty much where we are? Is there anything I don't know about?
depending on the client, I usually will do a little brow trim if they need it. So if they have like longer brows, I will just like brush them up. Like she's got like a little wild brow here. I'll do a little trim on that. I will clean up the brows when we do our initial tweezing before our dermaplane. I'll just do, and I ask first, I'm like, oh, do a little tweezing. Is it okay if we clean up the brows a little bit? But I don't go nuts and just do like a few major ones, and then I can clean up the rest with our dermaplane. So I want to show you the jelly masks. So I'll mix those up. I'll bring it over. For Karen today, we're gonna do the retinol alternative hydro jelly. This is really awesome for brightening, tightening the pores. Would you mind passing me a bowl?
Absolutely.
So the recipe to make your hydro jelly is 1.5 scoops of product. So 1.5, and then 1 scoop of water, and then mix it up. And you'll have, it's gonna vary. It will totally vary depending, I don't even know what it depends on. I don't know if it's the humidity in the air, if it's the type of mask, but you will need to like modify this. So I come over here, you're fine. Okay. I usually just rinse off my powder, so it doesn't get stuck, but I rinse off the powder, do 1 scoop of water, and then mix it up as I'm walking back.
There are 4 little lines on the side of the cup. And so when I measure it, I do to the 4th line, and then to the 2nd line with the powder, and then to the 4th line of the water. That tends to make it a little more consistent, but some of them just have more stuff in there, so they'll be a little thicker. Some don't have quite as much, so they'll be a little looser.
And so yeah, I'll come over, if I feel like I need more, I'll just take my distilled water and splash a little bit more water in there and mix it up.
Do you use distilled water in your steamer or regular water?
distilled water in the steamer. The bowls are just regular water. I will a lot of times put like a green tea bag in there. I haven't done that in a while though, but we have green tea bags just for extra antioxidants. So Karen, this is a Hydro Jelly mask. This is going to go over your whole face. We're gonna go over the eyes, we're gonna go over the lips. Do you feel like that will be comfortable for you to go over your lips?
That's fine.
Okay, if you feel like you need to open your mouth, you should be able to. But if you want me to take it off of your lips at any time, just raise your hand, okay? Did you guys work with these Hydro Jellies at all?
No.
So they do go over the eyes. They feel
But
good.
like the classes I've taken at the Dermal Institute, we've used the jellies and
The gel, yeah, at the Dermal Institute in Atlanta, those are fun.
yeah, I went to the Dermal Institute of Houston
Okay, yeah.
in Texas. Yeah, I really don't count Florida as my home place. It's more Texas. I mean, Florida's a beautiful vacation spot, but I wasn't there long enough to really claim it as home.
Yeah.
Man, this one's bright green, isn't it?
It is.
Slime
It
or
is.
green?
I was gonna
It
say it reminds me of Nickelodeon slime.
Totally.
Yeah.
I've used this one before, but I had mixed it with a different one. I can't remember, and it wasn't this color.
Yeah, I was fortunately able to take classes at the Dermalogica's Dermal Institute
Mm-hmm.
before they went to all online classes. So
Yeah.
when I first got my license, I worked at Massage Heights, and they would even pay us to take the classes on our days off.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm like, that's a win-win. I get paid and I get to learn, and they're paying for these classes. So
Totally.
if I didn't have any clients that day, my boss would be like, hey, you want to go and take some classes? And so if there was one that day, I called and told them, hey, I'm coming. They knew me there. That was my second home outside of work.
They used to have one of those in Atlanta as well. And so when I was at Ulta, we would like get the calendar for the month, and they'd be like, all right, go take this one and this one.
Yeah.
We will cover, they would cover my gas, and they would cover the class
wow.
fee.
That's awesome. 'Cause
They wouldn't like pay me hours or anything, but they would cover my gas and the class fee. And so I would go for a weekend and do like the 2-a-day classes for
On the
Saturday.
IDI side.
Mhm, the IDIs for Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, because I think if you took 5 classes on the Dermalogica side, or so many classes, then you would get a free IDI.
Mm-hmm.
So I was there all the time.
I was gonna say I took a lot of those. I would just make a whole like 3-day venture of it.
Oh yeah. Well, I was about an hour from the Dermal Institute, so
Yeah.
I'd go up there.
Okay, this is looking perfect. I'm just trying to check the edges so I don't get any runaway drippies. Definitely, one, it kind of feels uncomfortable if it's dripping down their face. And then 2, it's going to get in my way when we do our massage. So
Have you ever had any clients be bothered a little bit by covering up the mouth area with that? Because it
Yes.
kind of like,
that's why I always
I'm
ask
slightly
beforehand.
claustrophobic. I
Some
feel like I might.
So,
some
if you
clients-
heard what I said before I put it on, I said this is a Hydro Jelly mask. This is going to go over your eyes and over your lips to give you a really nice treatment in those areas. Do you feel like that will be comfortable for you? I don't say things like claustrophobic or anything because that's like a trigger word for them to go into panic, claustrophobic panic. So I just say, do you feel like that would be comfortable for you? Or if I already know that they are sinusy and they have been breathing through their mouth the whole time, I don't even ask. I know I'm not covering their mouth, but I will go. I'll say like, we're not going to cover your mouth, but we are going to go right on the lip line just to give you a really nice treatment in that area. And what else?
It's like wearing the mask too. Sometimes that it bothered me when I wore the mask. I covered my nose a little bit.
Mhm.
It was doable, but with the mask over my mouth, I don't know. It just.
I've
bothers me.
noticed that because I started wearing them when I was pregnant with my daughter and was just a waxer. Because because it helped keep smells out
Oh yeah.
for body waxing. So I would put
therapy
in
right there.
exactly. I would put a little bit of like eucalyptus or lemon, or even just some like Vicks or something, which is an old nurses and mortician secret. But it works really well, and it helped keep my airways open to maybe not feel like I was suffocating under a mask.
So we mask, aromatherapy. You can change it up. I used eucalyptus. And then yeah, we're just holding it here for at least 3 full breath cycles for your client. So just watch them, their chest move up and down. Sometimes if they're really like feeling it, you know, leave it on for a few more breaths and then just kind of wipe it down the neck and then onto the towel so they can continue to get the aromatherapy from it. Massage cream. And so this mask, the hydro jellies have to sit on for 10 minutes. They will not firm up any sooner than that. So, and even if you don't have the hydro jelly, it's always a 10-minute, at minimum, a 10-minute neck shoulder massage.
Okay.
One of the things I will do for aromatherapy for clients who are like especially stressed or especially sinusy, I will add a couple drops to each of their steam towels. That's something I learned at Aveda, and it works really nicely. It just kind of helps like give them a little sinus readjustment throughout the facial, so they're not. It helps them be able to relax a bit better.
Yeah, we're getting into that season for sure.
Oh yeah.
The new steamers that I got, they have, I've never used this kind before, and y'all can tell me if you've used it, but they have the little basket for the aromatherapy. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
It said like you can put herbs in it, but I'm like, I don't have any herbs. What are we putting in there?
A lot of people will put rosemary, like they'll have different herbs just on stock and they'll change it out for the client's type. So you could do like rose for drier skin, chamomile for sensitive skin, and rosemary for oily skin, and that's
Oh,
just
so
a
I
good
could like
basis
throw
for
like one of my green tea bags in there,
Yeah.
and we'll have like an antioxidant steam or something.
absolutely, absolutely.
I can see that.
Yeah. I worked for a little bit at a place with one of those, and I would bring in different herbal tea blends. Just roll with it.
Well, I've got a crap ton of herbal tea. I don't really like the way tea smells all the time though, but I'll try it.
Yeah, you gotta go with one that smells good and has the benefits you want from it. If you do that, then you'll be
I'm a
set.
little envious right now. I could use a shot.
Now my clock is over there, and I always just kind of like glancing at my clock to make sure I'm on my 10-minute timeline.
Hey Heather, would you mind pulling the top of the sheet down so we can get a better view of
Yeah, kind of like
your massage movements?
that maybe.
That should work.
You said, do you want us to use the exact massage movements?
No. I always do like, I kind of always cradle the head and do like some really good neck work. That's kind of my thing, but you know, whatever you have found that works for you. Your massage was wonderful, so just go with your instincts. And honestly, every client is different. Sometimes I'll spend like a lot of time like massaging right here for whatever reason. I'm just like, yeah, I just feel like they need this, like
yeah.
they need that. And Karen does not need that right in this area. Like, I'm sure it feels okay, but I can tell like with other clients, you can just feel that like that muscle relief.
You did that for me. I enjoyed it.
And so, yeah, I would say that everybody is different.
I'm like, just touch me. I don't care. Which is
Right?
I'll take a massage. Other than the one that I had a few months ago.
Oh no.
Something that I do like to do with everybody is I don't like it when my clients try to help me and lift up their neck. I usually like, just relax your neck. You don't have to move. And if they keep doing it, I really I don't want you to have to lift your neck. I don't want you to take the chance of straining your neck. I was like, I will lift your neck, just try to be dead weight. I'll be very gentle and slow as long as I'm not hurting you in any way, if that's okay. Because I think a lot of women just want to help. You know, they don't want to be a burden to you. Like,
Yeah.
you can't lift my head, you know, like, so I really try to get them to relax because I don't want them to just jerk their head up. And then they mess with the towel, you know, because they jerk their head out of the towel.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The only exception that I really make to that is I've had a couple clients who like have just like been in a car accident, so they have whiplash, or
Right.
like they've had, you know, neck or back surgery, and so they're very particular with how things move. And so I will just kind of like rest my hands on them as they move, and they feel more comfortable with that, but I make sure they're doing it in a way that's not straining.
Totally.
But otherwise, get them to relax.
Yes.
just make them relax.
Yeah. If they roll their head to the side, I'm like, okay, I can deal with that. But I don't like when they're like, you know,
Yeah,
picking
no.
their head all the way up off the, yeah, rolling from side to side. Sure, you can totally do that. And I am always like, as long as that's comfortable for you, you know, I'm not trying to break your neck or anything.
So, question. There's a massage therapist here.
Mhm.
Do they ever book like a massage and right afterwards come in here for the facial?
Yes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of times on Saturdays would be the day that would happen. But yeah, and we try to get them to get their massage first, so they're not laying on their freshly exfoliated face.
Yeah, because it really defeats the purpose because the sheets and everything is absorbing everything you just put on them.
Yeah.
And so, like, at Unit Stone, if they were getting a massage afterwards, I'd give them like a little sample so they can reapply it. You know, because otherwise they're going to go home and they're not going to be happy with their facial
Sure.
because everything has already come off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd sneak that in and tell them, put it in your purse.
Yeah. And because of like what we do in our facials are, I mean, they're, I'm not going to say aggressive, but they're effective in exfoliating the skin. And so that can leave you with a little bit of sensitivity afterwards. So jamming your face in a face cradle can be uncomfortable on your
Yeah.
skin. Like it feels like you have rug burn or something if you're
Yeah.
rubbing it all in the face cradle.
Yeah.
But Allie knows that, and she won't book usually. She won't book them for a facial afterwards. I mean, before.
Yeah. And Karen, too, tends to take a look, and Allie will let her know if they have a facial afterwards, and so she'll come talk with you and just, like, make sure timelines are working out right,
Right.
let you know when they're going to get out, make sure that everything's on the level. She's really
So do
sweet.
they
She's
keep
nice.
the clients in that room until you're able to come get them, or do they get them dressed and put them out in the lobby and then you go get them?
They tend to get dressed and wait in the little, not in the lobby, but in that little waiting area where you and I were sitting for a bit. They tend to wait in there. Get them some
Sometimes we
water.
can time it out just right, where they can just walk on over, or they'll run to the restroom and come over.
Yeah.
But most of the time, yeah, they'll dress and be waiting for us.
Just used to, they get the massage and I gotta hurry up and go get them out the door to bring them to my room so they don't
Oh
have to get
man.
dressed.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That is a lot.
This is gonna be a huge change. I think we'll like it, more relaxed.
Yeah.
And our timing had to be
On the dot.
Yeah, because the massage therapist only had like 3 minutes to clean out her room,
Oh, wow.
get the
Yeah.
next client in. I feel like that's very unsanitary, but that's how it was. And so if I'm taking forever with my other client, a massage therapist is putting them in a bind because that next client's coming in. So that's why I was asking that question, like, how is the timing so I'm not an inconvenience to the massage therapist timing for her next client?
Yeah, in general, like the level 1 facial is right at about 55 minutes.
Okay.
The level 2 is right at about an hour and a half.
Okay.
And the level 3 is right at about 2 hours.
Okay.
We do block in some extra time at the end for you to be able to flip your room if stuff is going on and you just need to spend more time on it. You can. It is going to eat up into your room cleaning time, but sometimes that's really necessary just depending on what's going on.
Okay.
So I am a time stickler for myself because when I was in school, I would not get tips on whatever client I was more than 1 minute late on.
What?
Yeah. If we were more than 1 minute late, we would not get our tip for that
Oh,
service.
girl, I go broke.
So
I've finished on time in however many years.
Yeah.
So the
In school.
client doesn't tip you? Or
no,
they
the
take it
client
away
the
from
client would tip, but Aveda would
you? So where's that money going to?
it's going to Aveda, to the Aveda school. Yeah. No, it was super not okay, but because the way they phrased it in the guidelines, they exploited a legal loophole, so it's fine.
So we're
It made me so bad.
removing massage cream. That's what we're doing. I love to like put the hot towel on the back of the neck. I cannot stand a greasy neck. If you don't wipe the massage cream off of that very way back of the neck, it feels so gross.
We have
So I take a minute to like hold my hand in the back of the neck. All my fingers are in the back of her neck. A hot towel, so I know that I'm getting that back of the neck area.
We have massage cream and we have the Woolies ointment oil as well. If you use that one, you really tend to not have to remove that because it's basically just olive oil, sunflower oil, geranium,
Nobody
and
wants
something
a greasy
else.
neck.
But make sure that it's actually rubbed in. If it's not, then yeah, use a steam towel to remove any
Does
excess.
this
So
table
sorry.
come up?
I'm
No,
so
no,
sorry,
no.
Karen. Oh, I just smacked her with my towel. Yes, it goes up, it goes flat, and the legs go up and down.
Because like some of my clients, that they were kind of, it was hard for them to raise up on their own. So I would raise the table, and then I would get the towel and do like an extra, little bit of heat with the towel and kind of just
Like on their back.
on their back, yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And it just kind of helps them a little bit to come up. And then they just feel like it's that much more that they got for their service.
So now that I've removed the massage cream, and I get the massage cream off of my hands too with that same towel. And so my hands are clean, and I will do like a quick scalp massage. And you can time this however you want. Her hair is really clean. If my client had like a lot of hairspray or product in their hair, I might wait and do the scalp massage till the very end. Because what I'm going to do next with my hands is I'm going to apply all of her finishing products, and I don't want to be smearing hairspray onto her skin from my hands. But her hair is like super clean, so I can do this now and it's not going to mess her skin up. But if she did have product, I would do it at the very, very end. Just if you have more like extra minutes to sit with this mask on. These masks are so great. I love these.
One of my favorite things to do in a scalp massage is there's a marma point right here at the top of the head. And if you take a drop of like a cooling oil like eucalyptus or mint or at Aveda they use blue oil, whatever that was, but you take a drop right there and you rub it in at the end of the scalp massage, it like totally resets your body in the coolest way.
Let's do it. Never done it before.
I will show you. Find that marma point. You always like go from the ears. It's gonna be right back here. You just drop a drop right there and rub it in with your thumb. And like their whole body will just relax. It's the coolest thing ever.
That's awesome.
It's
I'll
so
try that at
cool.
home to my husband.
I've done that to my
Shuts down.
husband a couple of times when he's just like angry pants and he's like, oh what?
And I'm a little more intuitive, like sometimes with like my movements. So I kind of felt like I wanted to move an inch higher on the head. Sure. And it's, for me, sometimes I feel like you know when you hit the right spot and you can feel that.
Definitely.
I think I was
Yeah.
off a little.
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's one of those where you start with that with a general guideline,
And then
but you'll be able
wiggle.
to, like,
Okay.
kind of feel your way around and know exactly where it is on them. Because it's almost like where a baby's soft spot would be. And
sense.
you'll be able to detect and be like, it's there. Drop, rub, and then
Just releases everything. all
just
the tension.
releases.
So I recover their hair, I usually just like wrap it around for this last little part. We're gonna do a cool towel, but I usually just take my fingernails and just run them down. I don't know why. This is just what I always do.
It feels really nice. That's why you do it, because it feels really nice.
So pretty. Oh my god, it looks so good. Okay.
So refreshed.
Yes.
We're gonna do a cool towel. Yeah, what's sun damage? There's no sun damage.
So much brighter.
Right. So I love finishing with a cool towel. I've done a lot on the skin. It can be sensitive.
I get all of my towels in the cabbie, and then I set my cool towel out when I take out my first steam towel. That way it still gets like the heat and sterilization of all the towel cabbie, but then I know it's gonna be cool enough by the time I get to this stuff.
And I'm just checking like around the ears and like the neck and stuff, because that's where you'll find the jelly mask will sometimes spread thin, you know what I mean? And so it's kind of like with hard wax, if you don't get a big glob of it, you have to, it's harder to remove. So sometimes that will happen, but her skin's looking great. We always start our finishing products with toner. So I'm gonna have you take a big deep breath in, Karen. And then just let it out slowly when you're ready. We're gonna do a vitamin C toner. Girl, I do the most. That was like 25 sprays. I would say just use your discretion, however much you want to use. But like these 2 or 3 sprays.
I tend to use 3 or 4.
Yeah, I use a lot. I'm loving this Kombucha Microbiome Balancing Essence. This is one of my favorite finishing products. It's a little thicker than your average toner, but it's still slightly thinner than a serum. But this has pre, pro, and postbiotics in it. It's going to nourish that top layer of the skin, the microbiome, give you a really pretty glow, keep the skin nice and healthy.
It's got white tea, black tea, green tea, ginger, and jasmine. So it's basically a soothing powerhouse. Like, she does everything.
Yeah, I love the microbiome line. I use a lot of that in the finishing products. It's a relatively new line for them. I think it's only been like
Right at a year.
Yeah, maybe a year. We're gonna use a gel moisturizer for her. This is gonna be a nice lightweight gel that's gonna absorb really nicely into the skin. This has niacinamide, bakuchiol, and it's just a really great anti-aging hydrator.
It's going to give you the benefits of retinol without being an aggravating retinoid. It's one of the really nice things. The bakuchiol line just came out. So we've been using it a lot. We like it.
Yeah, it's easily my favorite moisturizer now, by far, hands down. And then also, I always am just really mindful at this point that we've done a lot to their skin. So I am not really applying too much pressure. I'm just like ice skating across the skin. Like I don't want to rub anything. I'm just gently applying, and I'm letting her skin pull it in for me. So don't irritate her. And what I'm probably gonna do for her today, I'm probably gonna finish with microbiome leave-on mask. It is so good to treat basically every skin concern and condition, from like acne to dryness to just general overall like skin health. I like the leave-on mask. It's just thicker than you know, like a typical moisturizer. It blends pretty well. I am, because she tends to be a little more oily, I'm gonna thin it out a little bit with the essence and just make a nice little added treatment for her. This is gonna continue working in your skin for the rest of the day. Make a really nice leave-on treatment.
Heather laughs at me. I go like all out with the finishers. I'm like, we're using a toner, we're using an essence, we're using a serum, we're using a concentrate and a moisturizer.
Oh yeah.
But
I've been trying to limit mine to like 4 steps max because for me, like that's the part that's the most draining. When I'm all finished and now I've got to put on 25 different finishing products. So like 4 or 5, well, you almost have to do 5 because I'm going to put sunscreen on her, so.
yeah. It's one of the things I love most because I feel like it's my last chance to treat every single concern that they've got going on. Because very rarely is someone just going to be like, I want to treat just my dryness. I don't have anything else but dryness. Very rarely is that going to happen. So it's your last chance to make them feel heard and have you make sure that they understand this is custom to you and what you need.
Right. And we are just going to tap in a little bit of sunscreen. This is the sister product to that gel moisturizer. This also has niacinamide, bakuchiol. So just a really great anti-aging sunscreen. It's made with zinc oxide, so it's completely chemical free. And this particular sunscreen has like a dewy finish. So if you feel like your client might not like that, you usually say like, this does have a dewy finish. I really like it, but if you feel like it's a little too dewy looking, you can always blot with a tissue to take some of that shine away. Most people like it though. Just manhandle them one more time. Really like. I usually just like to give them like, I don't know, 1 or 2 minutes of like love after we finish every finishing product and they think it's over. And I just kind of go in and do just a little bit more, just relax your neck. Just a few more little nice touches wherever you want to do them, whether it's a scalp massage, pressure points on the face, neck and shoulders, whatever it is that you want to do. And I'm an all over thing. The ears are always a great place to really like massage right through here. We're all finished. Thank you so much for letting me work on you today. Your skin is looking perfect. Just relax. Take some big deep breaths before you go to get up. Take your time getting dressed. And I'll meet you up front with me.